First of all, good afternoon, honorable judge, respected teachers, and dear friends. I am Adam Tesfaler here representing Samata Secondary School and to debate on the topic that natural science is better than social science. Firstly, I'm not here to overestimate the works of natural science, but I'm here to debate and emphasize that natural science is much more relevant, important, and more skillful than social science. To begin with, we learned biology, physics, chemistry, and mathematics, that is in high school. And we learned medicine as well as engineering in college and university levels. And to begin with, first let me explain what we learned briefly. Biology. In biology, we learn about life and living organisms. That is, we learn in the organism's structure, physiology, anatomy, even its distribution, diversity, as well as even growth. And the greatest contribution of biology to humanity, it is the knowledge of biosphere. And the knowledge of biosphere, we are able to forecast the short-term and long-term processes of the earth. Don't you think this is interesting than understand that studying history? The second, physics. In physics, we'll learn about matter, its motion and behavior through space and time. That is in relation with other concepts like energy and force. And the development of physics has led into the creations of crazy mathematical principles and also advanced gadgets that brought the world into globalization. And the third, chemistry. In chemistry, we learn about matter, that is, its chemical content, physical contents, properties, and even interactions of molecules in the matter. And the success of this field has led into a complementary chemical industry that plays a significant role in the world's economy. And for your knowledge, the pharmaceutical industry is the leading one. And you're also, chemical experts are the beating hearts of that industry. And then into medicine. And medicine is the science and practice of diagnosis, people treating them, and also preventing disease. That is the paramount contribution of biology. It is invention of vaccination, anesthesia, germ theory, surgery. We know surgery saves lives, but even the smallest procedure in surgery can be fatal without antiseptic principles because of infection. Engineering. Alas, this is my point. In engineering, it's like application of mathematics and physics theories combined with material science. That's in order to innovate something new that enhance the work of the efficiency of a work. Engineering is not just the case of plugging numbers into formulas. It's a creative activity and done by analysis. And the paramount contribution, typical example is the artificial island in Dubai. And the artificial island in Dubai, it enabled Dubai to be recognized as an international city, leverage tourism, and also diversify Dubai from oil-based economy into other economic sectors. And we can proceed, which is why we learn these subjects. Are they relevant? And how skillful they are? These are the questions I would like to answer in my presentation. Firstly, natural science as a systematic enterprise and empirical science they use, which is they build and organize knowledge in a testable explanation and prediction about the universe. The present world is considered to be a physically advanced world, and which is science and its technologies are modeling the present world. Even education itself, it has been transformed into a digitalized one. We call it edutech. And edutech, briefly, is a combined use of computer hardware, computer software, and also educational theories and practices that in order to facilitate learning. And since our world is considered to be a digitally advanced world, there is hardly a job that doesn't need experts in science and technology. For your knowledge, even industry, which is the beating hearts are the engineers and technicians in which natural science can only provide. And I have a question for you. Do you think that the present world can standardize the people egalitarianly without the efforts of a natural science? Of course, absolutely. And we can proceed into, which is the information gathered in natural science. They are all expertly approved of. They are out of error. They are not just like some opinions that we may find in social science. And when we come into prevalence, 1.5 million children, they die yearly because of diseases that could have been averted by natural science or vaccination. And for your knowledge, in 20th century, 300 million people, they died just because of lack of smallpox vaccination. Whereas politicians in Brazil, they cut quarantine measures and also they fire health ministers. Are we going to adhere to these people? And I also want to tell you about job opportunities. In job opportunities, for example, if you choose to learn medicine, we're gonna be MD practitioners. We're gonna be like doctors of different specializations, surgeons. We're gonna become doctors of nurses and diploma. And also, if we choose engineering, we're gonna become like what we call it, civil engineering, chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, automobile engineering, technical engineering. There are lots of options. And for others, like chemical, lab technicians, pharmacists, physicists, mathematicians, lots to list. And at last, I would like to conclude my presentation that, look, let's see, our country, Eritrea, it is a young nation, but there is an abundant minerals. Don't you think at least we need miners in order to extract this out and catch those advanced world? I have prepared 5 points. Number 1, we need ample scientists and ample experts in order to have or build a self-reliant country. The second, we need MD practitioners and qualified doctors in order to have a healthy manpower to work, in order to work our work, or what we want. And the third, we need engineers and doctors, lab technicians in order to have valuable treasures in which we can be proud of. The third, we need programmers and digital experts in order to have a systematic education system. At last, we need most modern like farming techniques and most apex experts in horticulture in order to bring the agrarian revolution. At last, if we supply these things in a satisfactory amount, we're gonna have that flourishing nation with a gigantic civilization in which we will never live in faculty, but in reality. I'm very thankful for your lavish attention.
About how Eritrea is a developing country and how we need natural scientists to provide us engineers or medical doctors or vaccines or whatever that was. Do you think that we need natural science in our country? Do you think that we need more natural science than social scientists in Eritrea? We need a proper economy more than natural scientists or people who can create vaccines. We need people to organize them. We need governments to work on this, right?
No.
Okay, you can explain yourself.
How we gonna develop our economy?
By proper economy, we can develop our country.
What do we need?
Government.
Government?
Yes.
Okay, what does government need in order to work these things?
In order to work, the government needs social science.
I like to conclude this, which is at least those what we call it, governments need industry. And the beating heart of industry are chemical experts, and the masters are, which is what we call them, engineers and technicians only.
Thank you. Who's investing, who's funding for those engineers to work?
You are.
Whose money is it for those engineers to work on those, what he was calling about, the infrastructure? Who's the basic from this funding, without the funding and economy, without the proper economy? Will people be able to afford it? No, right?
Firstly, you are funding us because you need us. You cannot do. Politicians are good at getting things done rather than doing themselves.
Sure, we need them. We need them. I am not denying the fact that natural science is important.
Second question.
Okay, you were talking about medical care.
Medical care.
Yes, right? You were talking about vaccines and medicines.
Yeah.
Natural scientists created.
Ah.
So you can have the greatest medical care, you can have the greatest climate change, but the main question is, how do we change people's attitude to turn up when they have symptoms? How do we change their attitude to support sustainability? How do we change their attitude? How do we lead them that you have this medical care?
Okay.
How do they afford it?
Okay, thank you very much. This was in my favor, which is at least in 20th century, 300 million people they died. There are 6 times than those who died in fleas. Please. Yes. And there are 6 times than those who died in Second World War, and 100 times than those who died in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Which is, before you advance those people, they are already dead. You need qualified doctors to make them alive. Then you can lecture them.
Who's funding for you doctors? Who's funding for your research?
You are funding us because you need us. You cannot stand by themselves. You cannot stand by yourself. You need us to survive. You guarantee what's right as long as we are alive. But we give life.
Here we're not saying that natural science is not important. Of course it is important.
Natural science is important? Thank you. That was a way.
Which one is more important?
Natural science.
Okay.
We stand for ourselves, stand for you, and correct your mistakes.
Okay, let's consider this my body.
Would you?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Sure. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the host. Should I introduce myself by saying that My name is Wasu Mikael, or should I say that I am a social scientist? Because it really ashames me to put my name before this important topic, social science. Learning from your past, learning how we think, leading people to the future, leading a business to flourish. Social science is the field that really matters. Social science is important because it helps people to understand and analyze not only their own behaviors, but the motivation and behaviors of their peers as well. We need social science in order to help us, to provide us knowledge to produce an efficient and inclusive institutions. If I start mentioning about social science, we won't end up. So I will just lay down the most important points. My first point is about better reading and learning and critical thinking. Anyone who studies social science, whether students or old people, it makes them better learners. Because in social science, it's all about analyzing, writing, critical thinking to show understanding. By evaluating each other's decisions, we students develop the power of thinking and reasoning. We learn from each other's mistakes so that we plan for the future. The second is about the responsible values, culture understanding, and history. Think with me, how can we expect young people to have a positive contribution to a society, to engage in this courage, to thrive in a democratic society without the knowledge of life and history which made the world the way it is? Impossible, right? Anyone needs to understand the concept political science, history, culture in order to know what made the world this way, and in order to know why is it important to be a good citizen. We as a student and us as a society, we need to understand, appreciate, and learn about cultural differences if we're expected to have a meaningful interaction with people with different backgrounds in the future. In history? History is what made the world the way it is right now. It is really important to appreciate history because the only thing that makes it possible to learn from your past and plan for the future is history, right? And economic education. Economic is a crucial part of history. Talking about economic, my economic teacher is here. Economics, whether it's studied on its own, whether it's studied under political science, anthropology, history, economic is like the basic thing. Young people should understand about financial decisions in order to understand what impact it has on their future and the future of their societies. Range of social scientists, not just economists, but political scientists, psychologists, sociologists, they can help us understand and analyze the importance of economic crisis. They can help us to understand the decisions we make on ourselves and the government makes on our behalf. We need social science to understand the world for the better. We need social science to understand about political skills. We learn about culture. We learn about places. We learn about economy under human geography, under anthropology, under archaeology, under history. We learn about political skills. We learn about government, economy, resources, how to develop our country under political science, under leadership, under law. We can say under social science. Social scientists, they help us to find alternative futures in our lives. The social science, they present us with a bewildering range of social, legal, and ethical issues. What they do is that it's not important, it's not enough to rely on natural scientists. We need social scientists to criticize and analyze what is going on in order for us to shape the future for the better. And for some of you here who thinks that social science has no contribution to our health and well-being, I want to tell you that starting from sports sociologists to public health experts, starting from those people who are interpreting our medical statistics to those evaluating our policies in old care, social scientists are working hard, really hard, and really hard to make sure that our health, leisure, and social cares to be best efficient. We need social scientists in order to understand the concept of making your neighborhood safe. So I'm not going to tell you that we city police, they come, they government, they keep our safety. No. One common myth is that if you try to take measures to reduce crime in one area, criminals, they move to another area, leading to increased crimes. So what the social scientists do here is that, especially the sociologists, they try to help with the police by scanning crime pattern. Isn't this important? What we need social science is that to contribute for our life. It makes life better. It makes education better. It makes the world for the better. What natural scientists do is that they create solutions for the problems they have on themselves. Most of you, if you're not hungry, you think no one else is, right? If you're not exposed to discrimination, you think that, or you don't understand the pain of being discriminated. If you're a girl and if you have the opportunity to learn, you think that every other girl has the opportunity to learn as well. But you're wrong. What the social scientists did is that they provided law for women where none had existed before to become wage earners. They reduced the risk of hunger. They reduced the chances avoided of hazardous works. They provided barrier for women, including harassment at work site. Isn't this what humanity is about? What simply the government is doing in our country is that educating women. Educating women, he does not use chemistry or physics or any other type of natural science. What the government is doing is that identifying their talents and helping them to know where to sell it, how to make profit, and what to do in their lives. And this is all under the social science. We need social science to broaden our horizons. What the social scientists are doing is that they're creating a modern art gallery all around the world. This is exhibitions for programs including the art, workshops, and residency. By this, the social scientists there provide sectarianism to women's rights, discrimination, genocide, sexism, and feminism, and any other thing you can think of. The social science, they can guarantee our democracy. So here, I'm not going to tell you that you have to study law so that you're going to know your rights. I'm not. All right. So we have to understand that in natural science, what matters is your knowledge. In social science, what matters is who you are. In natural science, what matters is what you can provide for the field. In social science, what matters is what your talents are and how can you reflect yourself. In social science, accept people for being creative, for being unique. Social science accepts people for being people. Thank you.
I'm going to ask you a simple and basic question, which everybody knows, but very crucial, concerning health. We need health to eat, to think, to communicate, even to survive. But lately, there is a global pandemic that threatened our health. Then which professional do you think preserved human existence in this planet during that pandemic? A politician or a doctor?
A politician.
Why?
Because what contributed most to coronavirus was not creating a vaccine. What contributed more was to stop the distribution, which was by the government, by the social media. They told them, don't go out of your house. They told them.
Who told them?
Government, the media, social scientists.
Who told the government to do so?
Who told the government to do so?
Medical scientists. How can a politician save people if you don't know how to treat them?
Oh, how
Is
can...
he going to give him a political lecture or beer bottles?
What contributed more?
Wow.
Creating a vaccine or telling people or stopping the distribution to coronavirus? What contributed more?
Who discovered?
Who
discovered the virus? A doctor. Who told us the procedures in order to avoid being
Who invested?
from the virus? Let me finish.
Who invested?
Let me finish. Come on,
I think this is...
Finish. And then, who told us the procedures from being caught? Avoiding
Who invested? Who invested for the research?
A doctor. And
who invested for the research? Adam, it's a simple question. Who invested? Who invested for those medical research? Who?
Simple thing.
Who?
Who? Depend on us.
Yes, us. Who's organizing us?
Thank you.
Who's organizing us? Government.
Second question. We know social science is mostly ideology.
Can you make it brief?
Ideology, yes, of course. And then, how can social science standardize the overall development of the whole world egalitarianly, without the efforts of natural science? Take the example, it's artificial intelligence.
I think he misunderstood the whole concept of this debating. We're not saying that natural science is not important. Of course it is important. Adam, I think it's my time to answer, right? Yes, right? Thank you. We need natural scientists, of course, to create things. We need them to create weapons. But who use them? Where is the real power? Under the social scientists. If natural scientists were that important, then why do you, natural scientists, sell your weapons to us? Why? Why can't you use them on your own? If engineers were that important, why do they don't organize the infrastructure they built by themselves? They are paid by the entrepreneurs who study social science, simply because social science is better than natural science. No answer.
Why do you sacrifice the most